Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is Liz, and I'm the host,
And my name's Becca.
and you're tuned in to Ain't
Ain't
No
no days
Days
off.
Off. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are
I'm
you?
doing great. Thanks for coming on to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. So you wanted to jump right into it?
Sure.
All right. Becca, where you from?
So I actually was born in Texas, and I have lived a little bit all over the place, really. But I am originally from Texas.
Texas. How long did you live in Texas?
I lived in Texas when I was a little girl until I was probably about, I think I was maybe 4. We moved to California, and then I went back to Texas for a couple years when I was a teenager too.
Okay. Do you remember a lot from Texas?
I mean, yeah, I know a lot about Texas. Yeah.
All right. So how was it growing up to the age of 4 in Texas?
I mean, I don't remember a lot from the age of 4, but I remember a lot from when I was a teenager. Yeah.
Oh, so you left there and you went to California?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So how was California?
California was nice. I remember little pieces of California. I was still kind of young when we were living there. We lived in Oceanside, California.
Okay.
I remember a little bit about our horses that we had while we were there. And then we moved to Arizona. I've lived all over the place, Lewis.
So was there any challenges or difficulties growing up?
Yeah, I had a lot of difficulties and challenges growing up. I am the daughter of 2 addicts. And so I lost my mom at a younger age. She left my father, and my dad. He was working out of state, and um, we were with somebody else until my dad came back. But my dad was also an addict, so we had a lot of struggles growing up as far as um, I guess he wasn't really around a lot,
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So losing your mom at that a young age like that had to be hard.
It was extremely hard, and it wasn't until probably about 2 years ago that I really started to kind of get on the other side of that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, okay. Woo. Yeah. So
It was a grudge and something that I held on to for a really long time. Yeah.
Mhm. So and you 37, and so at 35 you just now started dealing with
So my whole life I've dealt with it,
Mhm.
but I didn't really focus on healing from it at all.
Okay.
I kind of the story of my life is to like bury it and just bury it down. And I can bury a lot of shit down, but it affects me in other ways that I don't necessarily see, but other people around me see.
So are you the only child?
No.
How many of y'all was it?
So I have a sister, a full blooded sister, and then I had a stepbrother.
Okay. Are y'all close?
No, we're not. I'd like to be, but we're just not.
What about the
My
sister and the
stepbrother?
brother? Them two are they close?
No, my brother, he actually committed suicide, so he's no longer living.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. So that's more trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
That's more trauma. Um. So with your mother committing suicide,
No, my brother.
with your brother committing suicide and losing your mother at a young age, do you have any fond memories as a child?
I, I mean, I do. I think I do. I remember. So like my dad wasn't around. I just want to say like my dad's my best friend today. Just want to throw that out there, and I love him dearly.
Okay.
Okay. He's actually clean and has been clean. It's coming up on 17 years.
Woo-hoo!
So yeah. Woo. And so he is my best friend today. But he worked a lot because the drugs that he did kept him up for days.
Okay.
And so there were small times that, like, I remember though, when we lived in, we lived in this little bitty town. It's called Brawley. Is it Brawley? Yeah, I think it was Brawley, California. And we would go to like this, we called it the hippie hole.
The hippie hole?
Yes, it was called the
Okay.
hippie hole. And it was off of the Colorado River.
Yeah.
And me and my dad were talking about this the other day. I had no idea, but he says that we almost drowned, but I had the funnest time ever. I had no idea. He said we went out onto like the Colorado River with like, we had like this blow up crocodile and like this other thing. And he was like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
What did it do a crocodile roll or something?
I don't remember a whole lot of it. Like, I just remember it being fun, you know? And then, so I know that like, I actually left home at a young age too. When I was 13, whenever I ran away a lot. Okay. So and that started in like middle school. And my dad could not keep me home. I kept running away.
Is all this from your mother passing or rebelliousness or?
So my mother didn't pass away. She left.
She left.
Yes. Yeah, she left. She left me and my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, with somebody else and just took off. And she took off back to Texas.
Okay.
So, but a lot of it was from that. Some of it was from just early on, like normal addict behaviors, I guess you would say, like lying, manipulating, cheating, stealing, all of that.
And this before the dope?
Before the dope.
Okay.
Yeah, way before the dope. It's funny because my first Narcotics Anonymous meeting, I was 12 years old. And it was because my dad had caught me smoking pot, and I was so bad at getting away with shit that it was the first time that I got caught smoking pot.
Oh.
But he was convinced that I was an addict at that point in time, even though I don't even know if he knows to the day that it was like the first time that I ever smoked pot. But he drugged me to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting because I guess he was scared I was going to be like him at that point in time. I'm not sure, but I went to that meeting, and
he would know this was your first time when he get a hold to this. So Dad, this was her first time.
Caught me red-handed first time. So I skipped school a lot, and so a bunch of us skipped school, and we were like in the hot tub and stuff at my house, and my and my stepmom came home and busted us.
Oh. So because you're probably the only person I know that skipped school at home.
Well, yeah, we went back to the house because we had a pool and a hot tub.
Yeah. Like we usually, like when we skipped school, we got out the neighborhood, we got away from places where people know our parents.
No.
And you went to the house. If you're gonna skip, you're gonna skip.
They were working all the time, so it was like I never saw anybody, and so. That was the time that I got caught smoking pot, but it was nonstop after that. It really was. Yeah, it was nonstop after that. I ran away. At this point in time, we lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, and ran away all the time. It took a lot for my dad. I mean, he nailed my windows shut, like all kinds of different stuff.
Your window shut.
Yeah, to try and keep me home. Yes. He went to school with me for a while to try and keep me in school because I would go to school, get off the bus, and then I would go walk out the back of the school and leave.
And he went to school.
He did. He went to school with me.
So, but that's good because earlier you said that your father is also in recovery.
Yeah.
And he stayed up for days, but he wasn't an absent father.
No, I wouldn't say that he was like completely an absent father. My dad always made sure that growing up that we had a roof, that we had food on the table. There was times that I know that we were extremely poor, and my dad did things that that he just had to do to put food on the table.
Made it happen.
He made it
Yeah, he
happen.
made it happen.
Yes, he made
Yeah.
it happen. And he didn't have any help from my mom. And so he really just made it happen himself.
I know we on TV, but we call it hustling.
Hustling, hustling,
Every
hustling.
day I'm hustling.
I'm not even lying. I mean, there's a point in time, and I didn't know about this until I was an adult and he told me, but he actually went to the police station and told them that either they were going to give him food for his family or he was going to go rob a store to get food. Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and they gave him food, you know, and I ate those beanie weenies for a week because I hated the way that they tasted.
That's the definition. Yeah. That's the definition of family first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seemed like he put you first. So.
He did in a lot of situations. Yes. Yeah. We had a very strained relationship just because he wasn't my mother, I think, growing up. And I was like a mommy's girl.
Okay.
And I wanted to be with my mother, and she couldn't do any wrong in my eyes growing up. And it was furthest from the truth.
So how old were you when your mother left?
I can't remember the exact age.
Were you a teenager?
No. I think I had started kindergarten or pre-K.
Okay.
Because I remember I remember we would come home on the school bus and she used a lot. And so I would hope that she was at the end of the road to pick us up.
Okay.
So we wouldn't be embarrassed, but she was never there. Like she was like the only mom that didn't show up.
Wasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I remember that. And then it wasn't long after that she left.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, it sucked. It really did. Yeah. I think that having a parent that's absent is probably one of the hardest things for a kid.
All right. So were there any did you have any role models or influential figures in your life while growing up?
So I think my role model or influential person growing up would have to be my Mima. She's the matriarch of our family pretty much, you know, and she's my grandmother. We call her Mima, but she never gave up no matter what, man. Like no matter what, she always loved me. She was always there for me. And even in times where like I gave up on mine and my dad's relationship and my parents' relationship, that's a relationship that I didn't give up on. You know what I mean?
Me mom never gave up.
Never.
So is she still with us today?
Yes, she is. She lives in Walterboro, South Carolina.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Do you still talk to her?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. So I'm actually, she doesn't know this yet, but we're coming to surprise her for Christmas. We're going down there.
Y'all going down to her house to surprise her?
Yes, at Christmas.
And she has as of right now, she has
no idea.
Wow, yeah, that's a great Christmas present.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
I am ready for Thanksgiving. We're doing Friendsgiving this year.
Friendsgiving?
So,
okay. Yeah. Friendsgiving is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way you got to cook the whole meal.
No.
Man, I remember growing up, Thanksgiving, they started preparing. If it's on a Thursday, they started Tuesday. Like Tuesday, just doing stuff.
And you kind of have to. Yeah. I've cooked Thanksgiving a couple of times, and it's like, it's really overwhelming to cook all that food for somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, what were your aspirations and dreams as a child?
Man, I don't think that I really had any.
No dream.
I don't think I really did. I really didn't think that I was going to live to see 30, to be honest. I really didn't. I mean, when I turned, like every year that I get a little older, I'm like, damn, because I really didn't think I was going to live to see 30. No.
So there were no role models. I always wanted to be. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. But I always wanted to be someone with superpowers.
Yeah,
always?
no. I spent a whole lot of time being dead inside. Yeah. So I really didn't think that I was going to live past 30, and I kind of didn't want to.
Um, oh, why didn't you want to live to 30?
I don't know, like so I mean I do know. I have mental health problems. I struggle from bipolar disorder and depression. And so I spent a lot of time off medication, and it does tend to make me forget a lot in my life. But the time that I spent off medication, I typically are very heavy using times for me. And my life was, it was so miserable, you know.
And
Um,
and you were what age were you when you started thinking you wasn't gonna live to 30?
I was a teenager, so I ran away a lot,
Okay.
and I ended up running away in Vegas so much. And at one point in time, I ended up getting on a Greyhound bus and going to Texas, where my mother was. And, so
Did you find her? You know where she was in Texas?
yeah,
Okay.
we started to go see her in the summertime when we were kids. Um, And I think that's why I felt like she could do no wrong, because she only had me for like a month out of the year, and we only did when you're a parent for only a month out of the year, you have the opportunity to do all the fun stuff,
Yeah.
and not any of the bad stuff.
Okay.
You don't
Yeah,
really
because
have
you
to
only got a
you don't
month.
really have to be a parent,
Yeah.
So and I guess I didn't really understand that until I became a parent,
Did she
you
let you
know.
get away with a lot?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Was
definitely.
that another reason you think why the relationship was good? Because she let you get
Probably.
away with
Probably.
everything. Because
With
she ain't had you nothing but
everything.
for a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ran away there, and I lived there. I, God, I can't remember a whole lot of this, but I think she tried to put me in school, or I was trying to go to school or something. And I was on probation at the
Okay.
time in Las Vegas from running away in truancy.
Are those
And go ahead.
reindeer on your nails?
Yes, those are reindeer.
Oh my
They're reindeer.
gosh.
You
Yeah.
can't see them, but they are. I got little reindeers.
Yeah, they look so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, so I at one point in time I got arrested, in trouble in Las Vegas from running away and stuff and being truant. And then so I was on probation whenever I ran away.
So did your dad ever come looking for you?
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm that's kind of where
Oh,
I'm getting
okay.
at.
Okay.
So when she had called my dad, I'm pretty sure she called my dad there. I don't know the whole like gist of this part, so I don't want to mess it up too bad. But like long story short, I ended up having to come back to Vegas where I was on probation, and I can't remember what like the stipulation. There was some stipulation, and then I got to leave again. So I finished, I think there was like a term of probation or something that I had to finish before I could leave and go back to live with my mom. And that's what I did.
So you did finish probation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then I went to live with my mom, and I had missed so much school that like I was back behind a grade. And anyways, yeah,
So you with all that running away and getting on Greyhounds by yourself, I'm sure you were subjected to a lot in life.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I did a few things that I'm not proud of at that time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So
There's a lot of people that took advantage of somebody that's younger. Yeah.
yeah. Um, What you mean took advantage?
So there was one point in time that like I ran away, and so and my dad does know this. He knew this at the time, but I I was raped. I was raped when I think I was 12. One time, and then I did not want to face the like I did not want to face that person in court, and my dad, he like stood behind me through that, and I left. I ran. That's when I ran to Texas. I was also picked up by people that were doing human trafficking in Vegas. Um,
Wait, hold on. You was picked up by human traffickers?
yeah, yeah. And at the time, my dad was paying people for information on me. And so my friends were like taking money, and we were going somewhere, and they had a couple of us. We were in the back of a pickup truck, and
The traffickers.
yeah.
Okay.
And friends of mine saw me, and they started like yelling my name and stuff. And the guys that were doing it, I guess because these people recognized me and recognized me with them.
Okay.
They told me to go with my friends, and so at that point in time, like my dad knows, like that saved me.
Is human trafficking a big thing in this country?
Human trafficking is absolutely a major thing in this country.
First, hold on. Okay, we'll get back there. First of all, what is human trafficking?
So human trafficking can be a wide range of things. It can be girls that are picked up and are forced to or subjected to doing sexual acts for money for these people that are trafficking them. It can be illegal immigrants that come to this country. They take somebody will take their visa and like force them to work for lower wages and stuff. There's a lot of different ways that people can be trafficked.
But young girls are
typically sex trafficked.
Are sex trafficked, but human trafficking, young boys can also
be. Yes.
And you ain't got to be young. You can be an adult.
Yeah, you can be. You can be an adult as well.
So yeah. Are there any I don't even know if you this deep, but are there any signs that you can look for someone that is involved in human trafficking?
Yeah.
So the victim.
Yeah. The victim, a lot of times, they will not come alone. If they have like a medical necessity, a lot of times they will be, and it will be an extreme medical necessity, because the only reason why a human trafficker would bring somebody in would be if it was an extreme measure. And you can look for the fact, like, especially with healthcare, or if you work in the healthcare field, the human trafficker will not allow the person to answer questions on their own. They will not leave them alone. They won't allow them to go anywhere alone. You can look at a lot of times there's abuse, as far as physical. A lot of it is mental. I don't know what else to off the top of my head.
Oh, wow. So this is like, because I've heard about it and I've read some things about it, but I never came in contact with someone that had been human trafficked before.
Yeah.
How?
So it's almost like they will woo you in. Like, I'll tell you the example with these guys that had picked me up. I was at a Circle K. I'm short, so my feet dangle off the couch here. I gotta scoot up. So they picked me up at a Circle K, and I was outside the Circle K, and they pretended to be undercover cops. Okay. And they told me that I had to go with them. And so, and I had been arrested so many times in Vegas that I just went along with it, you know. And
How old were you at this time? You were still a teenager though.
I think I was between 12 and 13.
Oh wow.
I went through a whole hell of a lot during those ages.
Okay.
Anyways, they had asked me to come with them, and then they did like this whole scenario with me and was like, well, if you don't want to go to jail, you know, you'll just come with me. And next thing I know, they're like asking me that if I was okay if they made a stop, and like they stopped at a house, and in the house there was other women in the house. And I went in to the house, and then they I didn't really think anything of it because I was so young, but like they were walking us down the road like late at night and stuff, and some of the women got in cars. I had no idea what was going on, to be honest. There was like a lot of what people call love bombing. Like one of the guys like was treating me like super well, I guess you would say. And so he was buying me things and like treating me special, and you know, all those things. And like today, like I know what those things are, but when I was that age and that young, and I mean, so a lot of times women even my age don't have any idea what that is, but that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Okay, so you said you was like 12 and 13, and that was like 24 years ago.
Yeah.
And within the last few years, we just started hearing about human trafficking and all that.
Right. Well, I mean, it's always been something that has been out there. It's just not been talked about. People don't talk about it. It is a hard thing to talk about with other people, and it's not that easy to open up and say that things like that had happened to you.
Okay, so wow. So so I mean, did you ever get a customer or?
Yeah. Yeah. I did. Yeah. That was the first time that I learned that I could sell my body to make money. Yeah.
12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Little girl. Okay. So moving forward, you've been through all this, you exposed to all this stuff out of young, sex trafficking, I mean, human trafficking, death, runaway, probation, like all this stuff you subjected to at a young age. How did that affect you in your later years?
Oh, so I guess like the only thing that I can think of to say is like, I created like this space inside where I would just throw everything in it, you know, and then lock it up, you know, so I wouldn't have to feel things. And I would use too. And
use what?
Run, didn't matter, whatever you had, you know, whatever drugs.
What was your drug of choice?
I don't have a drug of choice. I will tell you that heroin brought me to my knees.
Okay.
But I didn't have a drug of choice. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was alcohol. It didn't matter if it was pot. It didn't matter if it was crack. It didn't matter if it was meth. It didn't matter if you had peyote. It didn't matter if you had anything. It didn't
matter what it was.
No, it didn't matter what it was.
Elmer's glue.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So so what age were you when you first started doing drugs?
So it was very shortly after my dad took me to that Narcotics Anonymous meeting.
Yeah.
It never stopped.
It never stopped.
So, I went to my mom's, okay, and found out, that me and my mom don't really get along that well. And so I did a whole lot of running away there. And I spent a lot of time out in the elements.
Okay. I get it.
A lot of time, my teenage years out in the elements. Some of it was by, a lot of it was by choice at the time. And then I was arrested a lot.
You
When I
was.
was a teenager.
All right.
And when I think I was 16. Yeah. I was 16 when I got arrested. I was arrested probably 30 something times that year. And they finally said that I was going to like this program I went to. It was called Goals.
Like a recovery or
No, it was jail. So it was, I'll tell you what it was. It was Willoughby Juvenile Detention Center. A little shout out, Marshall, Texas. Real great place. Gang, gang. And they had this long-term program called Goals.
And you went through the long term.
I did. I went through the long term. It was called Goals. The goal of Goals was to work through each letter.
Okay.
At the time when I went, I had already gotten my GED. So with me already having my GED, I didn't get out of my cell like everybody else. So for 23 hours of the day, I spent in an isolated cell. And needless to say, like with my mental health that was untreated, I didn't make it past G. I didn't. I was there for a year. It was supposed to be a year-long program. I never made it past G.
Okay. Why?
So
because you were still displaying them same behaviors. Or
so
was it 100% your mental health?
So some of it was my mental health, and some of it was I was so bored.
Oh yeah.
Being in a cell
all day
long, and like so I would wreak havoc, and I did all kinds of stuff like.
So you didn't get past G. You finally get out. When you got out, was there any type of anything that would tell somebody Becca's been rehabilitated?
Well, first off, the only way I got out was by manipulating.
Okay.
That was the only way that I got out was by manipulating. And so the only I said that like when I got out that I wasn't going to smoke cigarettes, I wasn't going to drink, I wasn't going to do anything. And then I got picked up to be, brought home, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to have a party. We're going to have a party because you're out." And that was it.
That was it.
Was it.
Right
back into the mess again. I was 17 at the time. I met a boy, and I met him through his mom that I used to smoke crack with.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a winner. We got married, and I found out I was pregnant with Caleb, my son.
Okay.
And I stayed clean, and because my biggest thing is that, and I didn't want to be my mom, and so I really did like give it a wholehearted try to not be her. And I had 4 kids, 2 marriages. Okay. And I did drink some during that time, not like extreme, but I did drink some in between, like being not really in between pregnancies, but after pregnancies. My youngest daughter died. She was, thank you. She was almost 7 months old when she died. And that's whenever kind of I fell off the deep end a little bit. But then I got wheeled back in because I came down here to stay with my dad. And
to Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm.
What year how old were you when you got to Myrtle Beach?
When I came here, it's when I was 21.
Okay, that
Yeah.
was your first time getting into Myrtle Beach. How
Yeah.
did you get here? What did you just were like, okay, I'm up and leaving, I'm going to Myrtle Beach. Were you looking for a couch, somewhere to stay? Like,
No,
where were you really?
me and my second husband were living in Monroe, North Carolina. That's where all my kids were born.
Okay.
And I was always the only one that worked, but we just couldn't keep our place. And like I called my dad and he was like, "Well, come here." And so I came here.
Okay, sweet.
And I lived here for about a year and a half
Mhm.
before we went to Arizona.
And there's no using. And there's no drugs.
So I started smoking pot again right before we left here.
Okay.
And then I went to Arizona.
Mm.
I stayed clean for about 3 or 4 years, maybe, while I was out there. And I was so miserable because my second husband was a preacher's son. And like he wanted me to be somebody I'm not,
Okay.
you know? So like I was constantly pretending to be somebody that I wasn't. And I think that like my mental health got like really bad and I just lost it. Like I walked out on my family, my kids, everything. And I chose to live on the street at that point in time versus be with my family. And I started using drugs really bad at that point in time.
Got really, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I got pretty bad. I started smoking meth. That started. And then I was introduced to heroin. And
How were you introduced to heroin?
somebody told me that I shouldn't try it because I would never be able to stop. And I had to prove them wrong.
Mm.
And they were right.
Right.
They were right.
And you rode that train.
And I rode that train, yes, until it took me to my knees at it's probably about 20, I think I was 27 when I came here, right around that time. Yeah. I came here, I had I was telling you, my dad, I called him because he was the only person I knew that had gotten clean, that that I had seen anything in. And I called him and I asked him to help me. And like his comment was, "I'll buy you a bus ticket, but I want you to know I'm getting the insurance because I don't think you'll get on that bus."
Mm.
And that was my like challenge. I
So you
think
had to get on
because
the
he
bus.
fucking knows me
Yeah.
so much. Sorry, this is on air. I used the F word. Sorry. He knows me so well that like when he tells me that I'm not going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I did. I came here and after being homeless for probably about a year that I spent on the streets in Phoenix, using and just like running. And at that point, I lost my children. All three of my children had come to live with my grandmother in Walterboro, South Carolina. I'd signed over custody of them. And I came out here to get clean, but like I still couldn't get on the Greyhound bus without bringing drugs. But I got to the border of Texas and Arizona, and these border patrol agents got on the bus and they brought on the drug sniffing dog, and somebody in the front of the bus had pot on them. So they like pulled them off, and I was all the way in the back of the bus. So I flushed everything that I had before they got back there. And then I detoxed on the back of a Greyhound bus for 3 days.
And that was your last day using?
Negative. I'll tell you why. Because
why was that not your last day using?
Because it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter how far you run. It doesn't matter whatever you do, you always take you with you.
Mm.
And at the time, I hadn't realized that I was the problem. And so I wasn't working on the problem. I came out here with like the intentions of getting better. And I did bounce around between different recovery houses and stuff. And I couldn't stop. Even whenever I got here, I couldn't stop using. And overdosed at like right outside a Fresh Brewed coffee shop. And somebody in the program saved my life. And I got 2.5 years clean after that. And I relapsed, and I have actually been clean ever since then. I relapsed right at 2.5 years clean. So in January, I'll be picking up 7 years clean.
Woohoo, 7 years.
Yeah.
Whoa.
7 years.
Any addict.
Any addict, baby.
Any addict, baby. No, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Because if you were like me, because I'm a person also in recovery, like I done buried a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
family, loved ones, friends, gone. And to have this, and you know what? Wow. And that's why this may just be called a gift. Recovery.
Recovery is a gift.
It is a gift.
It is a gift. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what has changed about Becca and her recovery since you've been in recovery?
Man, so much has changed for me, Liz.
Wait. I apologize.
Yeah.
No, because you're doing all this using, but you got 4 kids. Like I'm not hearing anything of what's going on with them. Where are they?
Oh,
I
told you I lost my kids.
No.
Yeah. They went to live with my grandmother who lived in Walterboro when I walked out on my family. And
the drugs.
Yeah, the drugs took I mean, it was bad. And my husband at the time, wasn't the legal was not the legal guardian of any of my children. And he was not on birth certificates. And so I could go and get them at any time. And so he sent them to my sisters, and my sisters sent them out to my grandmother's. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the first thing that changed whenever, I did get clean is that I put a little bit of work on myself, and I did wait for a year after I got clean to get my children back. And I do have full custody of all of my children today.
And wow. And y'all just don't know, right? So when I pulled up, like she just told us, like she was homeless and running the streets and all this stuff. When I pulled up to this house, like I was like, I looked at myself to make sure I was enough to even walk in her door.
No.
Like for real, like this neighborhood, like it's crazy. I pulled in her neighborhood, I ride with my music loud.
Yeah.
Like I turned down my music. But like I'm looking around.
We ride with our music loud too, baby.
So yeah, but this is.
Thank you.
This is really nice.
Yeah, this is the first house I've ever owned.
So go ahead, keep telling me about it. So now you're in recovery in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Right. How is Myrtle Beach to you?
I mean, there's a love-hate relationship with Myrtle Beach.
What do you love about it?
My dad's here.
What do you hate about it?
It's the beach. I'm not a beach person. Okay. I am not a beach person. I love the mountains. So if my dad lived in the mountains, I would be in the mountains too, but it doesn't matter. Wherever he lives, I'm going to be.
Okay. So
my dad actually lives half a mile from me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. So, are you working?
Yes, I do. I work full time, and that's one of the things that's changed for me since being clean. When I first got clean, like I got a job doing the most easiest thing I could do. I got a job at Subway being a sandwich artist because I was told that I was going to need time to focus on recovery. And after a year, I was managing the Subway. And so, but I hated it. I hated my job. There was no passion. There was no love for anything that I was doing.
Ain't nothing work. Well, that's a lot of things worse. But being on a job you do not like would make you hate people.
Yeah.
Would make you like for real.
It makes you miserable.
It makes you so miserable. I remember I was working here at the beach at this place and I was just so miserable. Even waking up, knowing I got to go to where you know how you just feel like anxiety just attacks you while you're getting dressed, knowing you got to go there. That's so miserable. Now I refuse to work out at a place that where I feel like that anymore. Cause recovery done gave us
too much. So I want to talk about the inside before I talk about the outside. But the inside of me, like I do not bury shit no more. Yeah. Like I have worked on the inside of me. I have written a 4-step. I've told somebody everything that's on that 4-step, which is new for me because I don't trust people. Like I didn't trust people. I didn't trust anybody, you know. But I let all that out. And when I let all that out, like I was able to look at myself in the mirror again. I was able to smile, you know, I'm able to, I'd like jump out of bed in the morning, get ready for my day, you know, excited about what life is going to bring today, you know, and I don't have to use anything for that, you know. The only thing that comes with that is my joy to live today, you know. And like I always wanted to work for this place, and and I never thought that I was enough, you know. I never thought that I would be good enough. I never thought that that I was worthy, you know, that and about a year ago, I got this job that I'm working now, and I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. I know you want to ask, but I applied for like a year and a half, 2 years at every position that this place had open. Okay. and like recovery taught me that determination. Yeah. You know, it taught me to not give up on myself and to not give up on my dreams. And so I applied. And I applied and I applied. And finally, a year ago, I got an interview. I didn't get that position. Then I got called for another interview for something I didn't even apply for. And I got that job. Wow. And so I'll tell you, I work with Eastern Carolina Housing Organization. And I actually house homeless people today. And literally homeless people.
Wait. So, nah, because this the thing about recovery that gets me is you were homeless. Now you housing the homeless.
Yes. Everybody gets a house.
Okay, Oprah. Bopra. Wow.
Yes.
Everybody, you get a house. That's amazing to come from homelessness. Now you're giving the homeless homes.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. Go ahead.
Is it a lot of homeless people here?
There's a lot of homeless people in Myrtle Beach. So every year we do our, there's what's called a pit count, and it's a point in time homeless count. And I was reading earlier on the pit count that was done here in 2020. There was 10,968 people in what we call the HMIS, not in Myrtle Beach, but in the state of South Carolina. But Myrtle Beach, the last time they counted was that they have like a count was in 2020 that I read that's written in anything. And I want to say there was like 800 and something here. And that's the homeless that are asking for help. Wow. There's a lot more that aren't asking for anything.
That don't even want
they're comfortable.
They're comfortable where they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that. Some people just don't want the responsibilities.
Right.
Some people just comfortable. They ain't got. You ain't got to. I was one of them people. You ain't got to answer to
Yeah.
nobody. You ain't got. Ain't nobody. You ain't got to promise nobody nothing.
Right.
Like yeah. So
Yeah.
but that is a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, and I think that like it's really important to
What?
also note that in the city of Myrtle Beach, it's illegal to be homeless. So
Wait, hold on.
yeah,
So, and this is a tourist town,
it
so we
is.
do got money.
Yes.
So, it's illegal. It's the homeless population is big,
Yes, it is.
but it's illegal to be home. Will they actually lock you up for?
If you are caught sleeping in the city of Myrtle Beach, you will go to jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And
do they not have homeless shelters or?
so we are actually the amount of shelter space that we have in the homeless population. The shelters are full, and we
Okay, so
still
that's
have an
okay.
immense amount of homelessness.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, I can think of 2 shelters off the top of my head. Both of them are men's shelters. There's no women's shelters. None.
Wow.
There's 1 family shelter, 0 women's shelters.
So who is advocating for this?
So there is quite a bit of people advocating for this. So I know Fresh Brewed Coffee Shop. Kate Kieran, she's a huge advocate.
Kate, we love you, Kate.
We love you,
Hey,
Kate.
Kate.
It's a shout out to my girl Kate right now.
Yeah,
She's
Kate.
a huge
Hey, she
advocate for the
is-
homeless
She is
population.
awesome. She is awesome.
Yes, she is.
And Kate, yeah, she is awesome. She told me like if she had a place where she just could take them all,
Yes.
she would.
Yes, she would.
And I really, and she don't just be talking either.
No, she don't.
You
She
go,
opens those doors every day.
You let somebody go up there and treat one of them homeless
I
people
know.
like that. Kate, tooth and nail.
Yep. Tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail. And she coming
She don't
for
play.
you.
That's
and
right.
She coming for you with everything she got. And there's some people coming behind her too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Kate.
Yeah. Shout out to Kate for sure. You've got Joey Smoke. He is my CEO for Eastern Carolina Housing Organization.
Shout out to Joey.
Hey, Joey. He's a huge advocator as well. He goes to the city council meetings. He goes to City Hall. He stands up for them. He's constantly writing the grant funding and doing everything that he can do to ensure that people have a place to sleep. I know that we are opening up a new YHDP home crisis. It's crisis beds. So YHDP is youth, unaccompanied youth and minors.
Okay.
And then we have a couple domestic violence crisis bed places. And then we also have substance use crisis beds. And what we have is crisis beds. And the reason why we call them crisis beds is because when an area doesn't have adequate shelters for the homeless population, they write more grants. HUD will give more grants for, they call them like transitional homes, but they're really crisis beds. It's not a transition, it's a crisis bed in order to get somebody into housing. So if we get somebody and they're willing to go into a crisis bed until we can get them into housing, like we will take them, we can put them where they have shelter, and then find them housing.
Okay.
So and we have a ton of different housing programs.
Shout out to Echo.
Shout out to Echo. Big shout out to Echo. I love them.
Yeah, you can write that check payable to Ain't No Dayz Off. Yes, indeed. All right.
Who do we done shout out? We done a lot of shout outs during
got
this.
a lot of cash out. Yeah, we do.
Oh man.
And I got cash out. No. Yeah, but we don't. Yeah. But that's awesome though. You got someone that's giving back to the community.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely needed here in Myrtle Beach and all across the country. The biggest problem, I think one of the biggest problems that the United States has today is the housing crisis.
Yeah.
Like there
Exactly.
is a huge lack of affordable housing. Somebody here in Myrtle Beach would have to work minimum wage 87 hours a week in order to afford to
Whoa.
live in the lowest amount of like a 1 bedroom.
Mhm.
What it goes for here in Myrtle Beach, they would have to work 87 hours.
87 hours just at minimum wage price just
Yeah.
to afford a 1 bedroom and not on any part of Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
This got to be
Like you're talking the low end of Myrtle
low.
Beach, you know.
Wow.
And
sad.
that's the problem.
That's sad.
So, and then if you look at the amount of like the people that are homeless are people, huge population of disabilities.
Mhm.
Okay, so just you got disabled people, you've got veterans, you have younger people who they don't have degrees, so they can't get jobs making the money that they need to make to be able to afford a home.
Okay.
You've got elderly population who's on Social Security. Okay, they can't afford a home either. So I mean,
I've seen, but you got all this you got all this homelessness going on. Is it the drug problem huge here too?
I mean, yeah, the drug problem's huge here too, but that's
No, I'm saying
not
though
just
because
with the homeless
and
population.
the reason why I said that because like this place is so beautiful though. It's so beautiful. It's like cancerous. It's so beautiful, but people will never know.
No, you would never know because it's hidden.
It's hidden.
It's hidden. Instead of dealing with the problems, we're hiding them.
We're hiding. Band-Aid.
Yep.
Put a Band-Aid on it.
That's right.
Yeah. Just make sure they ain't sleeping under their piers so our visitors can see or on a strip anywhere. Push them back.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you know, because you live here, but most of the resources for people that are homeless are on like there's 10th Avenue and downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see a huge amount of them traffic like running through there all day long. And that's where all their help is. And to ask them to not stay where their help is that's I mean, ridiculous. What are they supposed to do? Yeah. If when you get to the shelter, there is I know there's less than 20.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen, I know I stayed around the help. I stayed near the help, you know.
I know I did too.
I stayed near the help. I stayed near the person that was kind of lenient and nice a little bit. That every now and then he felt pretty good. It was That way I stayed, making sure I stayed in that area. And if they happen to relocate,
I'm relocating.
I'm relocating too. Yeah. You know, but yeah, though, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Yeah. I think it went pretty good.
I think it went pretty good too.
Yeah. So,
we covered a lot of subjects there.
No, we did cover a lot. We covered a lot. We covered the we covered a lot. It felt good. Like I'm just trying to stall because like you really got movie seats like
look right here, baby. Look, you can move that headrest up.
And I can charge my what is it?
That's right.
Let me see.
Headrest moves up and back.
Oh my.
That's your feet, yeah.
Oh my.
There's another button.
Oh my. Oh, we can go another hour now.
I know, right?
Right. Oh man. Yeah. Y'all just don't know, man. It's been an honor though. It's been an honor for you to be. Cause I heard you one time talk about your story, and like to actually come here, sit down, and talk to you, and you explain how you did. It's gonna help a lot of people.
Well, I hope so.
No, it definitely will.
I hope so. And you know, and not for nothing, like it helps me to talk about, you know, the things that are going on in my life too. That's why I stay pretty open to talking about all my stuff, you know. Today, like I don't try to hide anything or everything's out there on my sleeve today.
Everything out there, and then when it's like that, ain't nobody really got nothing.
Nothing of you.
Like what you gonna say?
Yeah.
Like what you?
And honestly,
yeah.
The only person I'm here to today to make happy is myself, man. You know, at the end of the day, like
when you happy, it spills off for you to
everybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
so yeah. So anyway, y'all have been tuned in to
Ain't No Dayz Off
Ain't No
podcast.
Dayz Off podcast. I am your host Lewis, and this is
Becca,
and we will see y'all later. Holla.
Holler.
Ain't no Dayz off.
Ain't no days off.
Ain't no Dayz off.
Ain't no days off.
It ain't no Dayz off.
Ain't no days off.
Ain't no days off.
No Dayz Off.
Ain't no days off. None. Days off. Ain't no day. I got a lot of ain't no days off.
Ain't no Dayz off, man.